morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Kotten Bellies YouTube channel. Today is day 2 of making our little chubby toy soldier baby. So after I ended part 1, when we had his pants and his jacket nearly done, they're still not complete, but I went ahead and assembled the doll last night so that we could put the clothes on him to see where we're at and how it looks. So I'm like beside myself, honestly. He's so adorable. So we've got his little opening on his jacket. We've got his snaps so that we can get his jacket off like this. I still have to tack down the facings, and I'm not 100% sure I should have even bothered with a collar. So you can see it's cute. I mean, on the back it's cute. Little fuzzies, but you can't really see it face on, so whatever, live and learn. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to give him a little button or not, because I'm not real sure where to put it. Should I put it here, right there, or should I put it down here where the seam is? I'm not sure. Thinking that feels better, but so this is where we are today. We have to get his little epaulets done and tacked down. I think I'm going to put a little button here or something. I'm not sure yet. But the most important part was just to get him assembled so that we can get measurements for around his head, because today we're going to work on his little hat and his boots. So let's find the tape measure and get started, because you can't really see it. All right. Found my tape measure, so let's go ahead and measure around where we want his hat to actually come. I think I want it to be about right here. So we are going to measure that to be, it's about 17 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and make it 18 1/4. That will give me a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we have to figure out how much we want it to stand up. So let me put a pin right here. And that would be where the base of the brim would hit. And then we're going to go up, I'm going to say maybe 5. Let's see. Maybe 6. Maybe 6. Maybe 6 inches. So let's do that. So we're going to go ahead and do 6.5 inches, because we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We got our measurements for his hat is 18 1/4 for seam allowance, and 6.5 inches for the height with seam allowance. So let's grab our black fleece and let's get to making a hat. Okay, so now I've roughly drawn on the dimensions on my black fleece, and this is 6.5 inches that we want from where we want it to meet it on his head to the top, and then it's on the fold. So I did 18 1/4. So I can have my seam allowance, plus I came out 2 inches, because remember, we want it to come up like this. So I needed to bring it out away from the head part. So now we need to take something with a curve. If you like to make your own clothes, you might have some dressmaker's rulers. I do. So something with the curve that will get you there, because we're going to need to curve it both on the top and on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roughly cut this out. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to cut well beyond here. So let's go ahead and get that done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I've done is I've extended my lines past when I unfolded the fabric, and I am taking my hip curve ruler. Again, find something that's curvy if you don't have a hip curve ruler, but I sew a lot, so I have my supplies. So what I did is I started this way, and I tried to get it as close to this point here where the crease was in the fleece, so I know that I have this, and that will be fine. So when I laid my ruler down, see if I can figure it out here again. Yeah, there we go. I had this on 21, and then my crease met about 10. So I just went ahead and marked my line, and I stopped at 10. You can see this line here. Then I flipped the ruler, and I did the same thing. I got this one down here at 21 where I extended it, and I extended it a 1/2 inch, and then I went back up until I met 10. So, and then I did the same thing again, and I just followed it until I hit 10, and my lines met right here. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I'm going to drop the top down here about a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Is I'm going to meet my 1/2 inch line down there. I might go an inch, because that seems like it's about, let's measure that. Let's measure that and make sure. Yeah, we're going to drop it an inch. So from the 2 inch that I've added, I'm going to drop it down an inch here, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Is I'm going to line up my curve until I meet that corner, draw my line. We'll have to measure that, but that's what we're going to do. It's just like that, okay? And I'll be right back after I have it cut out. Just a quick, before I cut this out, I went ahead and met at the center and connected my 1 inch drop to the center. And then I'm going to connect my bottom where I dropped it a 1/2 inch and my top where I dropped it an inch right here. Use my straight edge and pow, and then just connect both sides. Now I'm going to come back, or now I'm going to cut it out, and we'll be right back. Okay, we've got it all cut out, and you can see that we've got our nice angle, and then we're just going to go ahead and sew it up. Right here's our seams, like this, and then we will be ready to make the top and the brim. So that's going to be the really hard part. Okay, so we're back, and we've got the hats on our little guy, and it's looking good. We got nice, plenty of room. So once we sew a lining in and the brim, we have plenty of room that it will fit on his head perfectly. Now, we are going to find out what type of circle we need to close this off. So what we're going to do, let me get him out of the way, is we know that our circumference is 18¼ inch. So I'm just going to go, let me bring my thingy over here, and we're going to put in our circumference at 18.25, and we found out that our radius is 2.9 inches, or 2.90 inches. So let me get this out of the way. So what I like to do is I like to go into my kitchen to see if I have anything that's even near close. So I found one of my little salad plates, and I stretched this over it to see, and it was about 1 inch. That's where it kind of gathered around the plate. So in fact, that is about 2.9 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and trace my plate, and then we're just going to bring it in till we get to that 2.90 radius, and we're going to go ahead and cut it out. I always leave a little bit more because you can always take away, but you cannot add. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've got our circle cut out. Now we're going to take our 2.9. I've made the center just by kind of folding it like a little pie and giving her a mark. And there's our center right there. So just kind of mark her up, or you can put a pin in it if you so desire. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. Now we got our pin right there. I could have chose a different color, should I not? Idiot, idiot, idiot. There we go. Okay, there is our center of our hat. So now we know, oh, I'm so sorry for doing that. So now we know that 2.9 is what we need. So we're going to go ahead and take our tape measure. And we also know that by using our plate, our Royal Dalton for our Riparian Delights, if you know, you know, we saw that was about 1 inch in. So it's going to work out pretty good. So let's go ahead and mark 2.9, and we're going to go around the circle and just going to keep marking 2.9. And then once we get done, we know that we should have it. Again, I am not going to cut it out. I'm going to go ahead and make my marks, but I'm not going to cut it out. I'm going to actually pin the top of the hat to the markings on this so that I know that I'm going to be all right. I don't want to have to pull the top of the hat to stretch around the circle, because that's just going to make it look wonky. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my line on. Now we're going to go ahead and take a second and pin it. Okay, so we have it pinned, and I don't know if we can see from the inside. I pinned it once on my original line, and look how much I had to bring it out. So I don't know if I just calculated wrong, but that's why you never cut it off. Never, ever, ever, ever. Always use more fabric than you think you need. So from the original line, we had to come out a full, what, inch? Oh, yeah, a full inch. We had to come out a full inch to actually get it to meet and be able to sew. So here is the edge. There's my second line. There's my first line. So now we've got it all sewn on. I mean, all pinned on, and we're ready to sew it. So before you do that, if you want to line your hat, go ahead and make your lining pieces now so that they'll all be ready. I'm going to go ahead and line it because I do want this hat to be kind of stiff and be able to stand up on top of his head, okay? Okay, I got my lining done. I'm going to go ahead and line that in a gray fleece. And a little thing I like to do is go ahead and quarter it like this. Well, better than that. And then put pins in the where you folded it on both of your items. And that way you can better easy line them up when you go to pin it so that you can be sure that you're getting the right distances between the pins, if that makes sense. But that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sew it up, and when we come back, we'll have the lining done and the hat done, and then we'll be moving on to the brim. Alrighty, we're back. We have them both sewed up. So there's the lining and there's the hat. Don't worry about this. This will come off as soon as I take a blow dryer to it. It's heat erasable, so it comes right off. So, but before we go too much farther with the brim, we're going to do some decorating before we close it all up, okay? So I'm thinking about doing the ribbon that's on his pants, like right here, right above the brim. Let me see if I can get it flat for you so you can see it. Like a ribbon above the brim. So imagine the brim will come out here. And then some little felt pieces. I think I might do red and maybe a blue up here. And that should bring his outfit together. And then that little trim that I did on the blue part of his shirt, we're going to come in and do something like this. So I'm going to take care of this first so I'll have access to sew it. And then we'll come back and we will do the brim. And we're back. Okay, so there's the hat. It's so cute. I think that I'm going to, when I get ready to finish the doll, I'm going to hand sew this little piece of white fur on because I just think that'll make it. So we'll put that aside. Now we're ready for the brim. So let's bring back our little guy. Okay, here he is. And we're going to measure. I already did this because that's how I knew how to make the ribbon. But I'm going to make it 6 inches. And that's how much the ribbon was. Not that you can see it, but that's how much the ribbon was 6 inches. So his brim will be 6 inches and will fall right underneath that ribbon. And you can also see that I left almost about 3/4 of an inch below that ribbon. So that way when I fold it under to catch the brim, then the ribbon will still show. So let's go ahead and get the brim done. And again, it's not going to be very, I don't know what you even want to call it. It's not going to stick out very far from his head. Maybe 2 inches, I think. So it'll be like 2 inches out, like 2 inches out, up, and then 6 inches across. So let's go ahead and we'll get that going. Okay, so you can see here what I've done. I've gone ahead and done 6 inches across. That's what this first line in is. But then I added a 1/2 inch so I can get a 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. And then I went up 2 inches right here and went 6 1/2 again across. And so now I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to come up like this, and we want a slight curve like this. And over here as well, just a slight curve. We can go back in and refine those curves with our guide. Just find, you know, what looks best. meeting those two lines. Just like that. So that's what we're going to do. And then we are going to sew everything that's around this curve, but we're going to leave that open. So this part will be stuck inside the hat. And I should make like maybe a 1/2 inch seam allowance here, just so we have enough to make sure we grab the whole brim. So that's what I'll do. Okay, so I put my lining in with the pretty side out, so the seams are matching on the inside, so that way everything looks nice and neat. So now we have made our guideline here. We know that this is the center of the hat, so I folded the brim in half and marked center. So now we are going to attach them. So we're going to go ahead and fold these in on both sides, the black and the gray, and we're going to sandwich our brim right inside there. And then we're going to sew all the way around, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so we got sewn around, except for right here by the brim. I'm going to have to hand sew the lining to the brim part because my sewing machine, as awesome as it is, just could not handle that many layers of fleece. So this is where we're at. Let's bring our little man back over and see what he looks like in his hat, shall we? Pardon the lint, but that's just black. Oh my God, you guys, he's gonna be so adorable. He's gonna be so adorable. I can't even with him. He's just gonna be the most precious baby. So okay, so let me go take in all the cuteness, and I'm going to go have lunch, and we'll come back and we'll work on his shoes, and then he will be ready to finish. All right, we're back from lunch. Just another bowl of chili, but I'm a chili freak, if you need to know. All right, so we're working on the boots. Now, I'm half cheating on this because I have made the sole for one shoe already. So I'm going to take the sole because I know it fits, and I'm also going to take this little tab, which will go on the back of the boot like that, so you can get it on. But this part I did based on my pattern here, and all I did was just lay it down like this and kind of give myself an idea of the shape that I'm going for. So I made it come up to where I needed it to come up to, and then just widened it ever so slightly. Now this curve here, if you want to make one for your doll, don't do the curve. Just go straight down and meet like the right angles here, because it's so much easier to then open this up like this, lay your shoe sole on it, and you can just cut around the excess fabric. So that's what I'm going to do. And I did make one out of gray just to make sure that I had the width right on the leg. And so this is what it looks like. I haven't added the little tab or anything, but you can see that is the little boot that we're going to go with. And it's snug enough to go over the calf without coming off. So, and it's wide enough to get over the foot and go up. So we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back with two finished boots, and then I think we're done. This is what I'm talking about. See, I just left the right angles. For me, for you, you might be a completely different kind of sewer, but I always mess up trying to match up my curves, especially when I cut them. So I'm going to go ahead and do it like this, and then sew around and then cut it off. That way I'm sure to be able to encompass all my seams. Okay, we'll be right. Alrighty, here we go. We have got little man some boots. We got his little pull-uppers on the back end, so to help you get him all up his legs. And this is him. I'm gonna leave him as slippers. I thought about doing a top stitch around, but I don't want it. He's a baby. So we're just gonna leave him as booty slippers. So let's go ahead and we'll get him all dressed. Again, you're not going to see him finished. He will not have a face yet, but you'll get to see him in all of the clothes that we made in these two videos. Alrighty. Can you see him? Here he is in all of his glory. Ignore all of my fleece in the background, but this is him. This is our sweet little toy soldier boy. So I would expect to have him done on Sunday evening, just like my normal Sunday post. So stay tuned. You can see updates on Instagram because the finish, when he gets all finished, I'll probably post some photos there of him. So that's him. That is our sweet little boy that we worked on together. So comment below what you'd like to name him. The most likes on a comment will be what his name is. So, all right, guys, I had so much fun making him with you, and like and subscribe. That's all I can say. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.